Well, here we are.
Unfortunately.
World's fastest intermission. So, welcome everyone. This is the other version. Let's not use any other adjectives right now. Let's just say the other version of Pop 3D, the Dreamcast version, Arabian Nights. Quickly, before the run starts, one thing to note, because in the past I've been getting a few comments on my PVs that I want to do this one glitch, it doesn't work, and I have to tell them, yeah, there's a special controller layout you have to use, because you can choose from 3, and you have to use the special one where action is on that upper button. I think that's Y, right? So
just look at your controller.
Ah, I see.
And your Dreamcast controller, of course.
Yeah, exactly. Yes. So without any further ado, I would say let's start the run, and I'll say start. I'm pressing the button. And start the timer as well. Like everything I have to do by myself. It's ridiculous.
I'm still there.
Now-ish, whatever. And focus on the window. Let's go!
Smooth.
So, with me is the world's best Prince of Persia 3D runner, Cadarev, who is in a fantastic mood.
I am ecstatic about everything right now.
What are you talking about?
So, first thing already pissing me off is, how did you not lose all your momentum after straight up jumping into that wall? I think that's not fair.
That's true.
So, people always think running Pop 3D is like terrible, which it is, but it's actually more terrible to then watch Pop 3D Arabian Nights, because you just realize how terrible everything is.
Oops. Oh,
what are you even doing?
Oops. I just want to get a better view at the map and see where I have to go. Don't worry.
Yes.
Ish. Oh, it's a bit far right. We'll see what happens. Ah, oops. So that was the first level.
Not quite how I remember it.
That's how I remember it, at least.
Well, that's your punishment, I guess. No cheating allowed here.
Anyway, good thing I saved 30 seconds into No, that's a thing that can happen. If you mesh through the save, there's a very slim chance that the game just freaks the fuck out. Well, maybe that's good, because then I can explain again what happened. I saved! Where's my save?
So the original Pop 3D would now slowly approach the water, I guess. So we're still with plenty of time, don't worry about it. So timer starts in...
now. And oh my god. Okay. Nope. Like it deleted everything, all the saves, and even the button configuration. It's fine. Giving myself a bit of a penalty, because otherwise I'd be too fast, too much underestimate. And the whole schedule would be in shambles, so. The real question is, will I still be faster than the PC version to finish level 1. Caddy, what do you think?
Well, seeing how I previously said we would approach the water, I assume at this point we would slowly exit the water. However, we don't quite exit it the same way that you will.
Okay, let's try that again. Don't mesh through the saving very carefully. Time for the first glitch of the run.
Wait, this
Called
run has
Swim in
glitches.
Air. Of course it doesn't work. To be fair, it's just on this wall. This wall has a very peculiar geometry for some reason. So you have to be a bit careful when doing it, but there we go. So what you can do is you kind of noticed that if you go backwards very carefully on a ledge, you can count to 4 and probably miss the trigger. You can fall into the water at the very edge, and this is where the button layout comes into play, because with this button layout we have a different button for like swim forward and it's like the fast swim or whatever, and if they're on the same button, it doesn't work from what I remember. And with this button layout, we're almost out of bounds, and given the correct set of inputs, we can go fully out of bounds and use the swim in air glitch, which is incredibly convenient. And of course, what we also need to perform this is the knowledge where the final triggers are, because although the map is not like the textures of the map are not loaded, all its triggers are, very conveniently. So just by knowing where the final, where the level end trigger is, we can just swim there and end the level. It's that simple.
Don't you need a bow in this level?
Oh, sorry,
Don't you need a bow in the entirety of this game?
So about that, we'll get to that in time. But first of all, is another application of the famous Robbie technique. That is, ask Robbie to please find a skip, and he does it. Very convenient, I gotta say. Just have to set it up precisely. This one is... It's not really difficult, but if you're set up... it's just a bit off, it won't work. First I'll try to do it successfully, and then I'll explain. I'll also explain why this is harder than usually. This looks good, I dare say. Yep, and there we are. So this is called bow skip for obvious reasons. The problem, or why the skip is necessary, seeing how in level 1 it was incredibly easy to get out of bounds. The problem is that there's no open water surface which we can crawl into backwards in this level, so we have to find another way, and that way is to jump into the edge of water out of bounds, which is all that skip does. I think that's a pretty cool skip to do as well as to watch.
I'm pretty confident you are now ahead of the original Pop3D run again.
You think so?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I think the original run would approach the exit of level 1.
Oops.
We just jumped to the boat, what are you doing?
Indeed, we could do that. However, there's this blue potion, which, as we all know, refills all your health, correct?
Wait, why did you not drink it? You just picked it up. The animation is missing. What are you doing?
We need it for later. Yeah, so in principle, you can jump to the boat. Not directly, you need one of the wooden, not beams, the wooden things.
Thanks.
Obviously. And you have to jump to them in a rather precise manner, and from that you can jump to the bone. Things that this blue potion is the quickest one to get, and we will need it for one swim in there later. So we just use the slightly slower, or it's like 7 seconds. Also, the jump to the boat, that small skip, is pretty difficult.
So how did you skip the fight on this boat?
I just wished, like to Santa, that the fight wouldn't happen, and
I see.
to get my Christmas present.
So yeah, quite a few obvious differences apart from the 10 times faster game speed to the original.
Yeah.
So the
here,
original skip doesn't work here, but luckily a different one does.
So why are you not doing this one on PC? It looks so much faster.
I assume a reason might be that in the original game you cannot do a running jump from standstill.
That's so sad.
Yes, as is everything in connection to that game.
That's true. Okay, that's level 3 done. Actually pretty cool to think about that. Like back when I started running this game eons ago, or maybe 8 months or so, the swimmer was a thing, but we didn't know about the triggers being loaded and like where they all are and so on. So yeah, the run originally was very similar to the PC run in terms of the route, not in terms of the movement, of course. And with this big swim and air discovery, we are just blazing through the first half of the game.
Where is the enemy? Oh my god.
I de-aggroed him. If you go into that corner, he's like, yeah, I'm fine.
Nothing to see.
Out of sight, out of...
We haven't drunk any potions so far.
That's true.
Because in this game you have to basically select them manually from your inventory, and only then you drink them. You don't automatically drink them, which is another change. You have a cap of, I think, 4 potions you have in your inventory.
Yes.
4? Yeah. Also shenanigans here. So you have a sword that blocks projectiles, right?
Exactly.
And you can make the effect persist even if you sheath the sword.
Yeah, it's a very cool tech where we can just move the box while being shot, but the shots just don't hit us. It's a special property of this sword. Also, this is the first sword we picked up that was at the end of level 3, at the end of Cistern. Which, like, because we skipped level 1, where we'd usually get the first sword, we had to avoid all combat, so it's incredibly lucky that the boat ride Katie was referring to does not feature the enemy anymore. Otherwise, level 1 skip would not be viable. So glad when developers think of speedrunners when they make a game.
So glad when developers think of having a rope climbing animation that doesn't take years to complete.
You're speaking in mysterious tongues, Katie.
In riddles. That's a red potion.
That's true.
That's different from the blue potions we picked up so far.
Indeed. I'll drink that in a second. I first have to engage in this highly suspense combat. As you might have noticed before, enemies do have a certain range when it comes to fighting. Once you're out of that range, they're like, nope, this is not my problem anymore. I'm not getting paid enough for this shit. And they just put away their weapon. And by hitting them, you interrupt that animation. So what do? Of course, they start the animation from menu. And that's how you stun lock and kill them.
So luckily they did not remove this very long cutscene. Very good to see that they kept it faithful to the original. Also very interesting whenever we get these in-game cutscenes. You have this letterboxing effect, but it doesn't just add the black bars at the top of the bomb, it just squeezes the entire image
Yes.
together.
Felt like that made it very cinematic. Because that's what they learned. Like, cinema is 21:9 aspect ratio, so we have to make that. Oh, Prince, come on. I could climb these books normally, but I can't just jump into them. They are so rigid that they support my weight. Oh, please. Yes, Caddy, please say it. I should just quick load. Haha.
I know you can't, not in this game.
Funny.
Why would you suggest that? There is no quick saving feature in this game. What?
I thought there is if I press like the number 5 on my keyboard.
Why would
I
you
might be
press
mistaken.
a number on your keyboard when you're playing on Dreamcast? That's like, what?
Like the keyboard that's attached to the Dreamcast.
Oh. Over the USB slot to your Dreamcast.
Exactly. Time for the worst rope in the whole game. Oh wait, we're playing Dreamcast, so it's not. Whoops. More little tech here. I can't remember whether we've seen that before, but on ropes or anything rope-like, it's faster to mesh the D-pad up or analog stick up to climb instead of the normal climbing animation.
What's this?
It's a jump rune.
What? What are runes?
Rune of Gazelle, as you probably know. Also, you're probably most familiar with this route as well.
Yes, just 10 times slower.
Also, as we learned yesterday, there is a life extension potion in this room, but because this is any percent, we will not get it. But it's up there, trust me.
No, I think there's actually a life extending rune up there, not a potion.
Yeah, of course you're right. Oh no, we have to do combat, so what do? 1, 2 steps back, and he's like, yep, that's fine.
Impressive move, sir.
Didn't cancel him correctly twice. Oh my god, just stop! I'm actually getting annihilated. Okay, backup potions.
Well, there is a
Let
life
me-
extending rune up there.
Let me think. That's actually a problem. Fuck. That's also a problem. Oh, load again. Okay, I'll have to drink that potion now. And think of another one to get. But given I mapped them all out, I surely remember where they all are. So don't worry, guys. It's fine. Also, don't mind him. He's just... Yeah.
I'm in a constant state of worry whenever I see this game. There we go.
Kenny. I wish I could help you.
I wish someone could help the Pokemon Company, but that's a different topic.
Oops.
Is that water I'm seeing there?
Huh, it is, actually. Crazy. So the end of the level is right here. and we kind of slant walk into it. That was Palace 1. Principally, like, really how I remember it from yesterday. Long and tedious segment. Did I say Palace 1? I meant Palace 2, sorry.
Okay, going the wrong way.
I just want to swim for a bit, like, get off my back. It's so refreshing.
But the lever is on the other side, I think you.
Refreshing swim.
But the current will push you out. What are you doing? You need to deactivate.
So this right here is one of the biggest, not the biggest, but one of the biggest swim in airs. I will swim from the start to the very end trigger, which would be incredibly difficult to set up, but for some reason the torches load once you approach an area, so we can use those as a kind of guide.
And as we saw, the blue potion just refills all of your health. And if you run out of air, you slowly lose your health. So you can also kind of think of the potions as, well, air substitutes.
Yeah, that's why for the long swim in airs, of which there are 3 I can think of right now in this run, that's where having enough HP is important. Direct jump. It's actually impossible usually.
Not sure why I didn't go for the life upgrade rune. That would have been pretty helpful. Oh wait. Inferior jumping mechanics.
I mean, don't get me wrong. If I wanted, I could have totally gotten it, but I just don't need it, you know. I'm just fine without it.
Fine with this red potion.
Guess I'll consume it right now. There's no pointing in recording it, keeping it.
More missing enemies I see, or I don't see rather. Also, is there just no cutscene here when you exit that hallway? Because in the original you have the cutscene with Ragnar.
Yeah, there's no cutscene here.
Okay.
Not that I know of, anyway. So one thing you'll see me do all over the run, or, I mean, you're already seeing me do it for the last 20 minutes, is saving. So whenever we approach these green shiny things, the Rune of Memories, those are the fixed save points, and you can only save there. So if I wanted to save right now because it's like, oh, I cleared this really hard section, let me save. Nope, you can't. Kind of questionable game design, but I'm sure there's a reason for that. Just saying the reason is very dumb, probably. So there, that rune. So yeah, as I wanted to say, in RTA, or like in non-marathon runs, you wouldn't take any save, because at the current level of optimization, taking any save, or not taking any save, but basically any death would force a reset.
Very interesting collision there.
Yep. Keeping in mind that every save takes like 5 or so seconds, plus minus a bit. Over the course of the run, that really sums up. So when you get to the point where when you get good at this game, or decent at this game at least, just not saving everywhere already saves you like 2 minutes or so. It's a pretty big time save.
Yeah, corresponds to 2 climb up animations in the original.
I don't get it.
I do, that's the problem.
Okay. Pretty easy stairs there. I don't think there's anything else to say about that.
Why did they put a save just before those though? That's so weird. I mean, the level end is right there, like coming up right now. So.
That's true. Also, we can just walk down this waterfall, obviously. Prince just has the correct kind of shoes for that, so let's just do that.
Oh, they moved the boss to this part. I'm sure that will.
Just let me through. I'm fine.
Yeah. So I like how they moved the boss from the central platform to the one in the back, so people wouldn't just run around him and then you still just run around him. Good effort, but lacking in execution.
One significant change to the PC version is that you cannot jump over that fence up top there to do the cool movement. Which probably wouldn't even be faster because the stagger animation in this game is quick, but
Looks like they just put another layer of barriers on top of that. Toca, are you struggling?
perhaps. I can't even see him. How? Okay. Let me through. Funny thing is, I wanted to take the potion, which I'm about to pass. I wanted to get that as a backup. Now I'm getting it to refill my HP. Shambles.
Math, like, where does this hatred for me come from? Like, what have I done to you?
Yeah, Keddy, what nice thing have you ever done for him? Or anybody for that matter? It's a great question.
Yeah, that's why I want to know. Also, when did you kill the boss up there to unlock the hatch? Like, hello? Please follow the rules of the game.
The bosses were the friends we made along the way. Seems all good to me. The jump is somewhat precise, but it's not too bad once you get used to it. It's a good thing about the walk button that you can precisely set up the prince's position. So you can move him forward or backward very slightly. That's actually not good. I didn't want to not save there, but it kind of happened, so let's see how this goes. So let's first take the flute from the old man, which he conveniently left on the table for us.
It doesn't even talk to us in this version.
I mean, he would if I would get close to him, but
Yeah, I mean, in the original, it's just as soon as you enter the room, you get teleported and he starts talking.
yeah, I totally know how to get back up. It's probably just here, right? Yeah. Another health potion, which I'll have to use, which I wanted to have as a backup, but I will not. Is there one to my left here, actually? No, there's not. Because I know there's one at the end here. Like, before the rope. But that's only
I
a
know
red
there's
one.
one down here, but I don't know where it is.
Yeah, exactly. This one here. This is a run that's happening. Rope, come on. Rope. Rope kun, please. And save. Cool. So next up, just like yesterday, we'll get this one-hit KO weapon in the half tier, on the left.
Wait, what?
I mean, it's right here on the floor. It's kind of
Hard to miss.
hard. Yeah. So.
Interesting.
Just like in the PC version, it saves a lot of time.
Just like in the PC version where one-hit swords definitely exist. Also here the platform doesn't crumble, because yes.
Movement was a bit slow. You can do that faster, but that's also a bit risky.
I assume you're still one shot as soon as you touch the water in this one?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, there's some kind of sea monster that will, yeah, kill you instantly if you touch that part of the water, like back there before the port. Hence the more careful maneuvering.
So this is Toxic's favorite level, whatever that means.
No, I think you meant to say this level is toxic.
Ah, yeah, you're right.
Similar sentence, but not in meaning.
Yeah, happens to the best, really.
Really.
So that thing with the rope I did there, that's a cool thing, where if you climb up to the very top, and you wouldn't hold any button, like you would just climb up, then the game would automatically... Prince? Okay. The game would automatically have the prince let go of the rope. However, that specific spot, if you also hold Y, the prince instead will grab the ledge above him, which saves many time.
That's to Robbie. Something persona.
Wouldn't know what that means, but okay. Caddy, you do you, really?
Good to know.
Be careful about this one. Because we are on Dreamcast, jumping up here is faster. It gives me a bit more time to set up the jump to the platform. It should be like here. Yep. There you can see my small steps with the walk toggle key. Beware of this guillotine, and we jump through it. Kind of badly placed, I would say. Oh, Prince, there's nothing in the way. Climb up.
No.
I'm afraid I can't do that.
I assess the situation, and my conclusion is that I cannot climb up here.
Yeah, so that jump is... You also do that on PC, right? If I remember
Right.
correctly. So here, because you don't have a quick save, you have to set it up a bit more carefully. It's not super difficult, but you really don't want to fail it, because if you do, you go back 4 minutes, I believe. Like 3-4 minutes.
All right, dirigible 1.
Yeah, so let's go to the next part.
Dirigible
dirigible?
4.
Exactly.
So if you're not aware or missed yesterday's run, this is where they started to cut out some levels that are in the original, but not in this one. And as it just so happens, those are some of the worst levels to go through, even casually, so not the biggest loss, I would say.
Also, don't worry about that jump through the...
Yeah, I just skillfully dodged the trap.
It's fine.
I didn't pick up the staff.
Speaking of dodging, by the way. Interestingly enough, that's not hard at all. Like, you literally just walk through it. The traps are just... They just don't hit you until 2 seconds in or so. So because we climb up so fast, we can just walk off this and proceed quicker. Oh, wait.
What are you waiting for?
Just jogging for a bit. Without moving, of course.
Yes.
Because that would be too fast.
Interesting new wall placement there on the left to prevent doing a skip, which then is not required anyways because they took out an entire segment where you would go and take a detour.
Yeah.
Also pick up the bow.
Pick up the what? Haven't seen any such thing in this run yet.
Oh, it's what you can put in your hair, it's a bow, so... Anyways, super jumps.
So
And
this is
very
the
solid
route.
treetops.
Trust me. And here's our rune of life. Equivalent of the green potion. Which you just take because it's so conveniently in our way. Okay, Prince. Okay. Let's go up here then.
No, 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 no.
I feel bullied for some reason.
Here we can jump during the elevator. Oh. Yes, please show us every second of this elevator ride. Thank you, game.
If I remember correctly, I should have one red potion left in my inventory. Which should be enough for the rest of the game. I hope. If not, then we have quite a problem. Let's put it like that.
I think Smath's run has permanently ingrained the idea of robbing things into Smath's mind.
Sorry.
He's asking why he's rubbing the rope like that.
Filled with poisonous gas.
Wouldn't know what that means. There's something here you can...
You have to stand on the button.
Yes?
Yes, then the door opens.
I thought I did that. Usually you always do that when you fall down, but apparently... I was weightless for a few seconds there, so... Anyway, the one-hit KO sword really comes in handy because unlike in the PC version where we just ignore the enemy and do the boring pacifist run, here we annihilate everybody.
Yeah, you may have also spotted that there is a number 3 next to the icon of the sword in the inventory, so this only has 3 uses. That, I mean, use in case they hit, so if you get blocked, that doesn't use one of your hits with it.
Luckily.
Yeah.
Honestly, that would be the worst weapon ever. Yeah, and the one-hit KO weapon works on every, and I mean every enemy of the game, except for the final boss.
Right now we
But
have
that-
the showdown inside the dirigible,
Mm-hmm.
which is at least one thing they kept from the original game.
Yeah, we'll just get to that directly, don't worry.
Yes. I trust you in that.
1, 2, turn, jump. My setup never fails. So, dirigible finale.
The fixed cinematic camera angle made it even better. It just walks off into the distance.
Like, why am I doing this? Saving a princess? I don't care. Why?
I'm out of here.
1, 2, turn, jump. Never fails. And now... let's do some combat. There we go. So even this boss, I mean, kind of mini boss, I guess. We just one-shot. And now...
The vomit
cutscene,
level, right?
Exactly. Yeah, in the cutscene that we skipped, we would see that the prince falls from the hot air balloon into the... What's this level called again, Kenny?
So
I think it's floating ruins,
floating
right?
ruins, correct.
Yeah, so this is floating ruins, yeah.
I mean, they're somewhat floating. I mean, you are primarily floating.
Yeah, floating prince. And as you see, this is also, or as you maybe can guess, this is where we'll need the extra HP, which I have 1 bottle of, so we'll see how this goes.
Break a leg.
Honestly, it should be fine, because the second part of the swim is pretty short, so the air we have compensates for a lot of that. And yet another one. Come out and here we go. I guess I'll drink the potion right away. So the only thing we have to hit is, I mean, okay, to be fair, we don't have to hit this trigger, but it is in our way, and it makes, yeah, it helps to, helps us see, it makes us skip easier. Because with the collision loaded, we can see where, like at which point to turn. It's this red, sunny-ish part of the mountain. And behind that, as we all know, are the 2 torches that show us here is the end of the level. And here is the end of the level.
apparently in France you need a license to swim in the air. Or so Chad is informing us.
Who cares about France anyway? Prince.
No. The mere idea of that is preposterous. Please.
Okay. So next up is a skip that I call, let's call it Caddy skip. Because thanks to Caddy, I learned that this skip is a thing less than 24 hours ago.
So you also activate the platform all the time.
Yes.
Very cool.
Yesterday I was like, wait, why are we activating the thing? Caddy has a point.
The same thing went through my head when I just didn't activate them.
Yeah. Makes it a lot easier even, because you don't have to wait for the platforms to arrive. Yeah. There's something I wanted to say about cliffs and waterfalls, like the area with the two big luminaires. That's probably the area that benefited the most from the discovery that you can hit the triggers without the rest of the area being loaded, like that the triggers are globally loaded. Because previously we did a souvenir that's way longer, so we needed way more HP actually. So this discovery not only made for a shorter souvenir, but also reduced the number of potions we have to pick up significantly. So it was advantageous in two ways. There's a small thing you can do here that I saw today during the second Rust run. I was like, why are we going up the normal way? Okay, so this is Moon Temple, the counterpart of the Sun Temple in terms of theme as well as length.
So this ledge is funny.
I mean, it's pretty broad, you can just walk over it. Not sure what the punchline is here.
You can especially just walk at an angle into a wall without it stopping you.
Yes. Also that, yeah.
Yeah.
Not sure why you're emphasizing that so much. Is there some hidden pain that you want to talk about?
It's not really hidden, so no. It's quite in the open, actually.
Yeah, that's fair. I think to everybody who played this game, the Moon Temple played the game casually. I mean, of course, the Moon Temple is famous for being a very convoluted and messy place, which you basically have no idea or no chance of finding out how the frick to solve it. So what you do is you look up walkthrough on YouTube and see how they did it.
Any bunny questions?
And time is over. Too late. I mean, I guess I can ask a question. How are your bunnies doing today?
So you want me to leave my commentary position to check up on them? And
whatever.
Not really, no.
I mean, they can try once.
Yes,
Call Peter.
trying is not the same as being able to do something.
That's true.
I think this level is pretty much unchanged from the original in terms of what you have to do, right?
That's correct.
Well, yeah.
Awesome. It's a shame that there's no controller input viewer, because I most definitely pressed the jump button. I'm
That's about to say, probably
highly,
press it half a second before you reach the ledge.
highly confident.
Uh-oh, you didn't do it yet, but yeah.
This is never a problem. Never. Like,
I was able to deduce what was about to happen on stream from your reaction.
I'm just infinitely mad right now.
Well, now you know how I feel
Oh
like.
no, I need at least one more potion, because there's one damage fall I have to do. I think I know which one to get, which one's fastest. Well, assuming I don't die here, of course. I made it! Wouldn't believe it.
Insane spoiler.
Oh! Sorry.
Sorry.
Eddie, your mere presence aggravates me, don't you see?
Yeah, same for me. That's why I'm always so angry.
Yeah, so that blue potion right there is one of the fastest ones to get. Sadly, it doesn't appear before Cistern, otherwise we would get it. For the long swim in air in cliffs. But it's a nice backup for when everything goes to shambles, apparently. We need it right here. We don't need it, but it's a lot faster to just fall down here and take one life ball of damage. That's a nice enemy we don't have to fight, of course. For a second I thought, how am I this close to estimate already? But then I realized, yeah, the start of the run happened. Where happened, you know, maybe rather didn't happen. I guess that would have also been... No, that's stupid. I needed the potion before the fall.
Yeah.
The two operations do not commute, wouldn't you agree?
Anyways, so
We're doing all kinds of stuff to get to the final portal. One thing you can do here, it's also possible in this version, but because you don't have quick save, it's too risky to do in RTA runs at least. And that's jumping to the first rope directly without using the swing bar, I guess. Also line up and land here. Cool. Pretty sure that's intended. Intended way to descend there. Was it a bazooka fire? No, that was a dagger that was being thrown. Obviously. I think I have to wait.
that you didn't answer with a simple yes.
Yes.
Okay.
So funny thing about these elevators. Sorry to interrupt. Funny thing about these elevators, you cannot grab them. Like their ledge, it's not grabbable. Which is really cool for a casual playthrough. You're like, I can make this easily, and you're like, why didn't you grab? I have to go back 3 minutes now.
I mean, in the PC version, you actually can grab them. I don't think you can not grab them. Like, you can't make it without grabbing them. So.
Okay, so here we have to do this actual setup to do casual gameplay. The name of the princess is Farah, I believe.
Toadstool.
Daisy? I'm kind of at a loss here. Okay. Well, now that we did everything, of course, we can proceed to the end of the level and only go overestimate by about 2 minutes, I think. Assuming I don't die to the next traps.
Right, yeah, there's one more set of traps and then... I mean, yeah, final puzzle.
Ooh, I did it! Also, let me say, one of the best decisions I made throughout the last 2 weeks was to extend my original 50-minute estimate to a 55-minute estimate.
And what makes you say that?
So I'm not pulling a smeth here, as it's commonly referred to. Okay, so just like in the PC version, you can just do standstill running jumps to clear the puzzle and go to the final boss. For which we have to, as I said earlier, we have to switch back to our main weapon. Because while we could use the one-hit KO weapon on him, it would just do like one normal hit. Whoever just logged into any viewer, like any desk, thanks, but you took away the focus from my window.
That's why you should not give other people the access to your PC.
Yes.
Why is the PoPRuns account saying oops?
Nah, PoPRuns, it's fine, don't worry. So for him, for
Ragnar?
what's his name again? Jeffrey, right? For Jeffrey, we also do the cheese method of climbing down and up twice, which forces his AI to put away his weapon, which takes forever, and during that we stun lock him. This was the first phase of the fight. In the second phase, we will do the same thing to Mr. Let's call him Bezos. Just a random last name I made up. So, come on, Jeffrey, you can do it. Pave the way, put your back into it. Tell us why, show us how. Look at what you've done. Look at you now.
Just get ready on time.
And time. Woo! Woo! That's a final cutscene we don't have to watch. Thanks a lot, Kerry, for joining me. Next up thing, maybe.
Yeah, next up is...
Do the transition eraser, come on.
Wait a minute, okay? Next up is an interview video. What is it? It's here.
My